It's time to get to work on texturing the propane tank and the oil drum. And so I'm going to start with the propane tank here. And so I'm going to come in here and start adding some seams. And what I'm going to do is press 2 for edge selection, Shift Alt and click right underneath this thing here. Control E, mark seam. Let's come down to the bottom. Put one right in the middle of those 3 there. And I'll put one in the middle of those 3. And those 3. Let's come up to the top area here. Right in here. Control E, mark seam. Focus in on that a bit better. And I'm just going to do the same. I'm just going to go in the middle of every 3 pretty much and really break it apart. And hopefully we'll get a little bit of metal edge wear on this. And okay, now I'm going to press, I don't know, somewhere from the back. Like, there's the thing. I don't know, I'm just going to put it here. Control R all the way down there. Control E, mark seam. Okay, so I'm going to leave that for the moment. Let's come up to the top piece. Now, this one had a subdivision surface of 1, and I've applied it. And you can go through and get rid of a few edges. I think I already did that, actually, especially in here. So I'm just going to come in here now and choose something pretty close, like maybe the second one in of this. Control E, mark seam. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to choose the second one in here, that one, and just get in here. And that one, yep. Control E, mark seam. I guess I'm going to do that, and I'm going to split it open as well. Just this one goes all the way around, so I'll do that one. And I'm going to do this one, goes all the way around. Mark seam. And I'm also going to do one right down the middle. Control E, mark seam. So let's take both of those, this one and this one, go in and let's try unwrap and see what we get. Okay, so we get this. So what I want to do is I want to straighten this piece, some of these pieces. So Control L, N, and down here you can see I've got this thing called UV squares, and I've talked about it a bunch of times. I've said you should get it, and I've never really left a link. All you do is you search Blender UV squares, and you should find it. It's free, or at least it was, and it should still be. And all I really use it for is this, 2 grid by shape, and then I'll straighten it. And I usually will do one piece at a time. Sometimes you can do a few, but sometimes it doesn't work. So I'm just doing one at a time. Maybe I can try 2. We'll see. We'll see if I can get both of them. That looks like I could there. So I'm going to do that. And this one, if it's broken, if it's not just a complete circle, I'll try to straighten it. And here, like if I go to UV Pack Master and pack, or use Blender to pack, it's starting to pack them in pretty good. So sometimes I'll go around and I'll look. If these are circles, I can't do much, but this one, I could probably straighten it out and not pack. Now I'm going to come back to here. It'll sort of pack it in a little tighter. So I'll just get all these bent ones. And, you know, look, I'll do it again, and we'll pack. And now I have a bit more space for that, but I may not be done yet. So let's grab, let's say, those 2 and straighten those. See, that didn't work there, so sometimes it'll do that. I'll try one and I'll see. Yeah, okay, that worked. I'll take this one. Okay, that worked there. Okay. This one here, Control L. I don't like that. I'm just going to take that and pack it now again. And that is it. I'm going to try Control E, clear that seam, and let's try let's just unwrap this part again, and I may have to straighten some more pieces. I think I'm going to like that better, so I'm going to straighten this piece right there. Then I'm going to take everything and I'm just going to pack again. And that'll change the results a little bit, but let's find out how it does. All right, so let's export that as an FBX. All right, so here's our propane tank. First thing I need to do is bake the mesh maps. I'm going to do this at 2K. Uncheck ID and thickness. Press bake. All right, and now we're going to, let's add this shiny metal, this aluminum metal. You can choose any shiny metal that you want. I'm just going to drop that down like that and increase the roughness a little bit. And then I'm going to right click and add filter. Do what I do quite often, use this matte finish filter, but I'm going to put this on triplanar. And you can play with the settings a little bit, but I'm okay with that, and that'll give it that mottled appearance. All right, that's fine. So this is going to be sort of an underlying metal material, and on top of that, I'm going to search for plastic, and let's bring in this glossy plastic and just adjust the roughness a little bit and change the color to some kind of, you can spend as much time as you want on this part. I'm just going to get this kind of a greenish kind of color there. I think we'll up the roughness so it's a little bit shiny. It's like a paint layer on top, and I can still see that metal underneath that mottled appearance that I always talk about. Okay, I want this to be chipped through, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a white mask and a generator, and I'm going to choose the metal edgeware, and this is what we have so far. We've got sort of a lot of metal and a little bit of green. I'm actually going to invert that, and that's going to give me some metal edgeware here and there, and we can look at playing with this. But what I'm going to end up probably doing is I'm going to be painting in some edgeware in just a moment. So let's actually do that. Just double check these values and grunge them out. We could try playing with, and what's going to happen is I want to come back to here, and I want to add height, and I'm going to set the height at 0. Let's try 0.1. So that does that. Okay, let's jump over. That's going to be too much, but let's jump over to 2K. Okay, so we can see what this is doing. I'm going to change this to 0.0. Let's try 0.04, maybe even 0.03. All right, so it's chipped away there, and I want to go back to the generator and just bring that down a bit. So it's kind of like chipped paint. Now we're going to do some actual painting on this. I'm going to switch to orthographic and snap it in, and this thing sticks out, so I want to accentuate the metal edgeware there. So I'm going to add a paint layer, come to my brushes. I'll choose, I don't really need a dirt brush the more I think about it. I can just use let's try a square brush. But what I'm going to do, let's try it first. Now this is black. Let's see what happens. And that cuts right through, but it doesn't go all the way around. So what I'm going to do is snap back in and turn on symmetry, and click here for the settings and change it to radial and mirror, but also this angle span. I don't know why it's set at 300. I'm always going to want it to be 360. Let's do that, and then if I sort of drag through there, I'm holding shift and control, it should go all the way around, and it does. And it does this kind of effect. I'm just trying it with this brush. But what we're going to do is we're going to change the settings here and sort of change all these ones so it's all kind of like that. Let's see what that does. That gives you that. So I may decide I'm going to use basic hard brush for this. with a little bit of this stuff here, size, jitter, flow, a bit of angle, position, that. And let's just see. And we can turn this down a bit and see what that's like. And that does that. So this is roughly the effect I'm going for. And then I'm going to come to the dirt generator, or sorry, a dirt brush. And I'm going to press X so it's white, so it actually paints back some of that stuff that we scraped off. So I'll just decrease the flow. And I can turn this off actually and just dab at it so that it's not so obvious. And just, do your thing. Okay, depending on what it is you want to do. I just want a little bit less of that here and there. Okay, so you could do that at any point. You can also try, I'm going to press X, turn on radial symmetry again. You can also try using the dirt brush. Maybe I'll bring up the flow. Let's see what that does. Okay. That may or may not be what I want to do actually. So I'm going to come back to here and play with these values again. I'm just dragging them. This kind of thing. So you can do that anywhere. And again, up at the top here, I do have some nice edge wear on this. If I wanted to do more, I could come in here and do that kind of thing. All right, I'm going to turn that off, and I'm going to go back to perspective. And this is what I have so far. Okay, that's a little bit much for me. I might, would want to probably go back and paint some more. Let's see. A little bit less damage on there. Okay, but we're also going to add another thing on here. We're going to add a fill. And I'm going to use, let's try grunge scratches. Did I spell that wrong? Yeah, of course I did. Grunge scratches. Let's try this one here. Okay, and I'm inverting that. And at this point, I seem to have lost my other layer below it. So I'm going to switch this to multiply. So now I've got what I had before plus these grunge scratches, which need to be edited. I can do this and I can do that, and that's what I'm getting. All right, so I have both layers acting. See that one and this one. And you could try different grunges. That may not be exactly what you want, but that's kind of what I'm going for. I might darken this a little bit more. I have that so far. And then you just manipulate this and decide how much of these scratches you want. All right, so we're going to add some dirt to this now. Okay, so I'm going to add a fill. We'll use color and roughness, and I'll drag the roughness up. And we will go for a dark brown. Black mask. And I'm just going to use the dirt generator. And we'll get this. And that's going to go in the crevices as well. We still have some of that edge wear. And that just darkens it up nicely. All right, so I'm okay with that. And then maybe we put just a little bit of rust on top of that. So that's dirt. And let's search for rust. Maybe we'll try this coarse rust this time. Okay, we get that. And maybe we can use a smart mask. And I'll search for rust. And we can try this Let's try rust drips first of all. I kind of like that. Let's not put that on. And just reduce it. Decide how much you want of this. And just to have it in there. And we have our propane tank. Like that. This is just one idea anyhow, of stuff you could do. Okay, so what I would then do at that point is take all of these, Control G, put them in a folder, call this something like metal. I usually will call it, like if it's plastic that I've used, or wood something, but I would call this like metal and propane, or propane tank. And then you can right click and save this as a smart material, and then come to your smart materials and search metal. And I've already got one here, which is metal propane. All right, so I've saved that as a smart material so I can use that for another object. Now, I've already unwrapped the oil drum here, all right, to save us a little bit of time. And I've created an FBX. And so what I'll do now is I will bring in, I'll start a new file actually. There's the oil drum. I will bake the mesh maps at 2K, unchecking ID and thickness and just using the rest default. All right, and now I will drag in the metal propane smart material we created. It will look a little different on here, however, because the edge that I drew down here doesn't make sense anymore. So I'll get rid of that. And I'll play with this a little bit and just get a sense of it. And yeah, I've got the rust on there though, and I've got the scratches, and I've got pretty much everything else. See, I've got some metal edge wear up there. I'll bring it to 2K in a moment. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to snap to orthographic, and I'm going to add a paint layer here. And what I want to do, we're going to turn on radial symmetry 360, and we'll put this in the Y. And let's just try this. There, I've cut across. We've got some edge. We see some metal there. Let's do another one. Okay, and then you can come with a dirt brush or whatever you want to use. I'll use dirt brush. I'm going to lower the flow. I'm going to press X. Or you can just dab it like this, although I've still got radial symmetry on, but that's okay. I'll do that, and I still get some of that coming through. I'm going to go back to perspective. Okay, so I get some of that coming through. Let's actually change this color, however. Something more like that. Now we can definitely see the metal edge. So at this point, you might want to go back now that we can see and touch that up a little bit. However you like. And we've got that. Let's see. Let's check the dirt out. Let's bring the grunge scale down. So that's looking just pretty nice, pretty straightforward. And let's see, I may want to try this with a little bit shinier. It won't get too shiny, however. See the edge wear there that's getting shiny. Let me take this, because we got a bunch of stuff on top of it. Okay, well, then you just tweak the values of this stuff as much as you think you would need. I could try. Yeah, no, I do actually like that, and that's the basic idea. Very simple, very straightforward, and done real quick. Okay. All right, so I'm going to show you how these look with the diner so far. So this may or may not be the best view. I'll think I'll go to Blender and I'll show you. This is a screenshot, and I've done some post processing, but you can see the propane tanks and you can see the barrels here, the oil drums, and I'll show you in the scene itself. Alright, so here is what it's looking like so far. My propane tanks, my oil drums, and some old wheels that I've also done. Okay, they're not necessarily in their final positions. Alright, so the idea is I'm going to do a few more pieces of assets in here, and I figured this is for a Blender Challenge restaurant, and it's Tuesday, and the challenge runs until not next Monday but the Monday after, so almost 2 weeks. So I figure I will use the rest of this week till about the coming Monday for modeling and texturing. So I'll do a few more items, and then I will spend the final week either in Blender or in Unity putting this into an environment. And that will be it. So I probably will only get to do the one submission for the challenge. All right, so that's how it's going, and I hope you think it looks okay. It looks a little cartoony right now, and that's kind of the look I'm going for, but without the scenery and without the lighting and the shadows and stuff. It looks a little funny. But we've got those items, and it's time to do a few more. So I'll see you in the next video. Thanks very much.